Well, unless he was the one writing me the check, I don't see how he can know that.
What's up, everyone? Shakiel Mahjouri here for CBS Sports, and you know who this is. He headlines PFL Battle of the Giants on October 19th, and he is the lineal UFC heavyweight champion of the world ahead of his fight against Renan Ferreira. Francis the Predator Ngannou. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for doing this. What time is it over there in Paris right now?
Like 4:20.
Okay,
Around
shout out to all
4:20.
my 420 fans. Hey, the people on this channel specifically are obsessed with Sean Strickland, so I need to know: did you train with him at all ahead of this fight? And just in general, what is it like working with the madman maniac that is Sean Strickland?
No, I didn't train with him. I had my fight. I'm in Paris. I've been here
Whole
for
time.
month and a half doing my training camp. And yes, I've trained with Sean. I mean, he's a unique type of guy. But he's a very good team player, though.
Yeah,
He's always at the gym, like trying to give everyone that needs around, you know, in his own way. He's doing his thing,
this is
but
true.
he's a good team player.
Yeah, I've heard very good things about Sean as a teammate, especially. So why is it that you're doing so much of your camp here in Paris this time?
Why? Because I decided so. I wanted to do it. Uh,
Okay, so you didn't work with Extreme Couture at all for this one?
huh?
Did you work with Nick Sick at all for this one?
He came in Paris a little while ago, and he's gonna join us in France in Saudi. But yeah,
All right. When we look at the Renan Ferreira fight, especially for some people who maybe know Francis very well but not Renan, what are some of the dangers that he possesses that you need to look out for on fight night?
mm, I mean, is that a question that I should be out?
Huh? Fair.
Huh?
You don't have. Yeah.
I
Go ahead.
mean, I don't know. He's very athletic. He's very skilled, well-rounded, but I think whatever it is little less than me.
That's fair
Every
enough.
He's a little bit less version of me, I would say so.
Okay. Well, being a lesser version of Francis is still very, very, very
That's
elite, but
a little less version.
yeah, okay, but not enough on fight night for him. I know that you had some nerves initially about, what it would be like getting back into MMA training. Are you still going to have it? And almost immediately, once you hit the mat, that sensation is gone, that concern is gone. Now that we're almost to the fight, how's your passion for MMA relative to your passion for boxing? Like, is this just as exciting? Is it more exciting? Now that you've done both, how does it feel?
You always feel good. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't be here. If I didn't want, I wouldn't be here. If I didn't feel like coming back, I wouldn't be here. In fact, before I go to boxing, I have signed for this fight already, right? I mean, even before I had signing the first boxing fight, I had signed for this fight already. So it's not like I have left. I decided to leave, and then now I decide to come back. No.
What now? I know that we have this fight to think about, and then whatever's next is next. But what are some of the things you take into consideration when it comes to deciding what does Francis do after this? Is it MMA? Is it boxing? What are some of the factors you consider?
Well, I would say the most important uh, is just to have a fight that makes sense, a good fight, whether it's in boxing or MMA.
The last time we spoke, I think it was a year ago before the Tyson Fury fight, and I think a big focus of that was, there were these people claiming that Francis Ngannou was going to fumble the bag. Well, he certainly didn't do that. And I think it was a story of someone betting on themselves and believing in themselves and doing right by themselves. In your opinion, what's the lesson this time? What's the story for Francis Ngannou heading into this MMA return?
Well, the story is to always pick yourself up and keep going, no matter what. That's the storyline for this fight.
I saw UFC President Dana White say that he's always very hot and cold on boxing, but he said that in 2025 he plans on making a serious push into boxing. How do you feel about another presence getting into the boxing game? Is it good?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know nothing about what he said. He has said a lot of things that by now we are all confused.
This is fair. It's so funny because I saw him say like I'm doing boxing next year, and then the next week he's shitting on boxing again. So it's hard to keep track.
Yeah.
One more thing on Dana though, because I did want to give you the chance to respond. He recently claimed that you would have made more money if you stayed in the UFC. Now I know that money wasn't the only reason that you made the decision to leave the company, but I just want to give you the chance to respond. Do you think would Francis Ngannou have made more money if he stayed in the UFC?
Well, unless he was the one writing me the check, I don't see how he can know that. But me, as the inside one that was receiving those money after leaving the UFC, and from what the UFC was proposing, who was just a trap. He wasn't a solid contract as well. Like, so that's a lie.
I know that he's last thing. I'm sorry, I lied. Technically, last thing on Dana. He's always been very cold to the idea of super fights, but I did ask him before, or sorry, crossover fights between PFL and UFC. But I did ask him before 306. Now that Riyadh season is involved, is there anything they could do to make the Francis Ngannou Jon Jones fight? And Dana said anything was possible. So I'm curious. Have you had any talks with Turkey about maybe him playing a role in helping facilitate something between PFL and UFC?
We haven't had have a serious talk, but I think you can imagine why Dana White changing.
I
It's now he's into Riyadh.
Yeah. I saw you sort of defend Jon Jones when people were wondering, like, should Jon Jones be fighting Tom Aspinall? And you said Jon Jones, he deserves the ability to be able to pick his fight. He is a legend. But I am curious, as someone who advocates for, fairness for fighters, how do you feel for Tom Aspinall? He's the interim champion. He should be entitled to that undisputed title fight, but he doesn't seem to be getting it. He's one of, I think, only 4 interim champions to ever defend the interim title. Yeah, just how do you feel about Tom kind of getting stuck in a corner a little bit here?
It's a situation that is also stuck in the corner for everyone. Like I mean for both of them. Like uh who is obligated to have a fight that he won, a champ or an interim champ, right? Who, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I think if you win the interim title, the expectation is that a title unification fight should
Yes,
follow.
that's expectation. I totally agree with you. But again, like if interim champ and champ, who is in the position to pick? Because like the only reason why we get here is because the organization
Yeah.
makes everything happen. They organize everything. But now I don't think the blame should be on either John or Aspin,
Yes. I think
right?
that's a very
I
fair
mean,
point.
everybody is claiming what's right. But the only thing is that nobody really want to point uh the the organization,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And
But
because the organization, they
if
pulled
I'm
Stipe
John, if
Miocic, they
I'm
could have booked.
yeah,
Yeah.
if I'm John, I want to do like the fight. Basically, my fight in November by last year being canceled against Stipe or something, and then maybe that's my retirement fight. Maybe this is my last fight. Then I don't really want somebody to like force me or tell me which one to fight. I think at this point, he has a little bit of a leverage in that one. So. I mean, I'm not saying none of them are right. The situation has just a little complicated.
And it ultimately comes down to the matchmakers. Okay, good. I think that's a very fair take. Francis, I want to end on this because I'm sure, I don't know how many interviews you've done today, but you're going to get asked a lot of the same questions. So I want to give you a break from the fight and just get to know you a little bit better, okay?
Okay.
All right. What is Francis Ngannou's secret talent? What's one thing you're very good at that people might not know?
I don't know.
Just
Then he might be something that I don't know myself.
just making smart business decisions and punching people in the face. That's fair. Uh,
I think people know by now that I make little business.
what's one person you've sparred with that some people might not know is actually very powerful?
That is very good, or that is very powerful, or just is good or just powerful.
Up to you. Up to you.
Well, I think I've been sparring with Tony Johnson. He fight at ACA. The organization ACA is the ACA champion, heavyweight champion. And let me tell you, this guy walk in the room, he doesn't look like a champion at all. But
You get the gloves on.
he has it. He has it. He's like the same profile like DC, uh, like Daniel Cormier. Um, and I remember like seeing him the first time when they say, "Oh yes, we have some sparring for you. We are gonna bring it to the gym." And then I check him out. I'm like, "Yes, he's good. He's like this." I'm like, "Okay." And then he get to the gym. I'm like, okay, whatever, let's try. And believe me, he gave me some round bite. Before I left that gym, I legitimize it. I'm like, okay, this is the man. He's the
Okay.
man that they say he is.
I know that you are obsessed with success, and we've seen it play out in your fighting career. What's one obsession Francis Ngannou have that has nothing to do with work? Movies, hobbies, whatever.
I would not say obsession. I love movies. Yeah, a lot.
What genre do we like to watch usually?
A little bit of drama and action,
Okay,
and
drama.
also like a politic, um,
Mm,
kind of like politic, like for example, designated survivor, things like
mm,
that, like House of Cards, 100, yeah, movies like that.
perfect. The last two, and I need you to be honest with me, Francis, because it's okay. It's all in the past now. But there was that video of you breaking the glass doors in the store, which, we come to learn was staged and it was very funny. Dewey Cooper, the first time I asked him, he told me that it was real. And the second time, he told me that no one told him that it was fake. Francis Ngannou, is Dewey Cooper lying to me? Did he know that you were doing that skit with the glass doors in Las Vegas?
Well, because the concept is just to make everyone believe that he was real. So, in fact, if you consider that everyone involved in that video was lying,
Okay. But did Dewey know about the video before you filmed it?
I don't know. You better you gotta ask him for that.
I'm gonna keep grilling him. One of these days, I'm gonna get the full story out of him. Okay. Last one. What are you most proud of having accomplished in your life?
What?
What are you most proud of having accomplished in your life?
Well, to come to the point that I believe in myself. You know, I not like I'm self-sufficient, but I'm sufficient enough, and I'm in peace with myself. I think that's my biggest accomplishment, because everything goes down into that.
Francis, there's no better note to end on, so I want to leave it there. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe, tap the bell, thumbs up. Give us your official prediction. Francis Ngannou, Renan Ferreira, October 19th, PFL Battle of the Giants. Francis, if there's anything you want to tell the people, I'll let you have the last word, friend.
No, good. Thank you. Just tune in for the fight on October 19th and watch my return in MMA, as you call it.